Okay, hello and welcome. Here we are, another question. So this is going to be minimum removed to make valid parentheses, number 1249. Let me go ahead and get this going. I think I can just jump right into it. Yes, so this is going to be, refresh that too while I'm here. Everything working? Yes, audio's working. Hello, hello, hello. Refresh that too while I'm here. Yes, okay. Make sure that's working. All right. How am I doing? All right. So min removed to make valid string. Okay. Minimum removed to make valid parentheses. Given a string S of opening parentheses, closing parentheses, and lowercase English characters, your task is to remove the minimum number of parentheses, opening parentheses or closing parentheses in any positions, so that the resulting parentheses string is valid and return any valid string. Formally, a parentheses string is valid if and only if it is the empty string, contains only lowercase characters, or it can be written as A concatenated with B, where A and B are valid strings, or it can be written as A parentheses A, closing parentheses A, where A is a valid string. Okay, so it's a recursive definition, and typically when you're dealing with parentheses, opening and closing parentheses, usually some kind of stack solution is probably the way to go. I'm getting job, it's bad. What's up, Gaurav? Yeah? Yeah. You're getting a job? You need to get a job? What do you mean exactly? So LeetCode would also be accepted. So, okay. So this is not valid because you have an extra parentheses at the end. You can delete this one. So I've got to remove the minimum number. Okay. So they deleted this one. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it would be to delete this one, closing parentheses here, or you could even delete this closing parentheses here. The problem was that there was too many closing parentheses, and so some of those needed to be deleted. Okay. Here we have opening, closing, opening, closing. So we need to get rid of that closing parentheses. And then here are two closings. Both of these need to be deleted, and then the two openings also need to be deleted. Okay, so this is kind of tricky, but this is not. Oh, okay. I'm not getting job after solving 1,200 plus DSA questions on LeetCode. Oh, I see. Yeah. Jobs are a pain in the neck. It's like really bad. There's a few things to say about it. So first things first, right? It depends on the job market. It's like extremely oversaturated right now. Like they have way too many people looking for jobs, and they don't really have enough work to do. So they're just not hiring people for it. That's the big one. How to get in India? Oh, you're in India. Oh, it's very different for Indians. I don't know what to do if you're an Indian. I don't know what to tell you. I would say the market in the United States is, and no offense, but I'm an American, right? So like I don't necessarily want to be competing with Indians. It's not really my best interest to be, trying to help Indians get jobs in America. This is kind of awkward, but basically, in theory, Indians could make their own companies in India, right, and find work that way. In practice, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So I don't really know. Send you LinkedIn, please check. You could add me on LinkedIn if you want. I don't mind adding folks, but it's definitely I definitely can't be making any promises about helping people get jobs. Like, I don't have a job myself. I'm not, I'm not the person to talk to with regard to those things. I just like LeetCode. That's actually the thing. Like, I like LeetCode. I might not even, depending on how things happen, how things go, I may or may not be employed in the future as a software developer. Like, I'm starting my own like foundation to write software, but I don't intend to do that. Like, I don't intend to make a lot of money doing that necessarily. Like, it's probably gonna be a net like cost for a long time for me. I'm gonna have to fund that on my own in some way. It's kind of complicated, but yeah, I do want to be a software developer, but I'm definitely gonna have to do some like figuring things out, if that makes sense. USA job market on bomb. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it's kind of jumbled my thoughts there, but oh wow, this is a really high submission rate and pretty high acceptance rate. Yeah, this is probably just the stack-based solution. This is like, I don't think too hard. Yeah, so I don't really have like great advice for like finding a job if you are an Indian. I'd say if you're an American, there's things I could say. And by American, I mean like European, European American, not no offense. I don't know how else to say that. Basically, foreigners, I'm not really trying to give too much advice or help to, because it's not my interest to do that. And again, not to be rude, but it's just, in theory, foreigners can basically, petition their own governments and do things in their own countries and get things going. In practice, it's going to be very hard for them to do that, but in theory, they can. Yeah, and then I could give advice to people who are like, European Americans, I guess, but that advice is not great either. It's just like, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be really hard. No matter what you do, it's gonna be hard. So anyway, so it's, I probably shouldn't comment. I'll just say I don't really have the best job seeking advice. And I intend to get a job, but like, it's one of those things where I'm fully prepared if I don't get it. If I don't ever work as a software developer again, like, I'm prepared for that kind of reality, which would suck. That would be brutal, but it's not out of the question given how like rough the job market is just generally. It's we've got, in a lot of ways, I was told that there's a huge shortage of software developers, but in reality, there was not. And so there's just like a giant oversaturation. It's just very hard to actually make money as a software developer now, it seems. Not that you can't do it, but it's very it's not like other professions. Like, it's extremely competitive and it's like, quite frankly, it's like not worth the money. Like, actually, in a lot of ways, it's like, it's really, you have to expend a tremendous amount of effort to get paid. Really not an amount that's commensurate with that amount of effort and time. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling on now. Let me generally, not in all cases, but generally speaking, that's the case. Like, you might even get a job at all. Like, that's just that's it. Like, you spend your whole life trying to become a programmer and then to make $0. That's like, yeah, it's definitely not worth it. It's not worth it. Anyway, so yeah, this is a stack-based solution, I'm sure. This is going to be basically one of the tricky parts. You count the parentheses as you create the string, and then two things can happen. One, you could have too many closing parentheses and you just don't push those onto the string as that happens. The other scenario is that at the end you have too many opening parentheses and you've got to pop those opening parentheses. tricky thing here is if you've already pushed everything onto the string, how do you remove those parentheses? And there are a few ways to do this. Like one way is to just keep track of all those indices where I pushed opening parentheses, and then go and delete those later. And by delete them later, I mean just redraw the whole string without those parentheses. That's one way of doing it. That's a relatively straightforward way, although it uses a little bit of extra memory, I think, more memory than I need to. Although the result takes linear memory anyway, so it's not like it really matters that much. I'm trying to think if there's a way to do that's a little bit cleaner than that. Another way of doing it is to just push the when a new parenthesis, so I could use a stack of strings, and maybe that's not the best. Kind of like that idea. I don't know if that's good though. I think that's too much to do it that way. But what I was thinking is maybe make a stack of strings each time an opening parentheses comes up, create a new string and push it on the stack, and when a closing parentheses comes, pop the string and add it to the the stack below. And the idea would be at the end, if there are too many opening parentheses, and so you would during that process you'd have opening parentheses and closing parentheses included. But when at the end, if there's more than one, like the stack is not just one string, meaning there's too many opening parentheses, then opening parentheses are not included when you pop the stack. I don't know if that makes sense to do it that way. I think it's okay. I could try that. That's one way of doing it. I kind of like that. The problem I have with it is it's a lot of string operations. I think it's too many string operations actually. May not do it that way. Yeah, I mean, you could just, it's a simple way of doing this standard array bool. Okay. Another way of doing this. Bool, remove. Okay. Count. Okay, so maybe I'll do it this way. May not remove, but just parens. This is maybe not the best way to do this. I'm trying to think of a way it's better. Okay. There might be a better way. I'm not sure exactly. So let's say count plus equals ch is an opening parentheses, right? Count minus equals ch is a closing parentheses. If count is less than 0, so if it's greater than or equal to 0, really, then I would say result.pushback ch. Okay, and then I'm going to do another pass, or just say current. Let's do it that way. Now the way this is going to work is parens, so let's do const bool opening. Parens of I equals opening. Okay. And the way I want to do this is basically count at the end. If it's greater than or equal to 0, I need to mark the parentheses to remove. From right to left. Okay. So we can do it that way. I mean, it's a little bit, whoa. It's a little bit awkward, but it can be done this way. So what I'm going to say is parens, or let's do keep, or remove. Let's do remove. Yeah, let's do it that way. Let's do remove. Right, it's all false. Opening parentheses, right, we're going to say all false, and then these are going to be set to true, and I'm going to say, so if count is greater than or equal to 0, or greater than 0, right, then I'm going to take these parentheses of and remove of I is true. Then I'm going to say remove I stays true. Actually, it should be the other way around. It should be if remove of I count is less than or equal to 0. It's false. That's confusing. That's confusing. Everything should be set to false after basically decrement count. Count is greater than 0, and remove of I is true. Then I want to decrement that count value, and remove of I is going to be equal to it's going to be basically something like this. False if count is less than or equal to 0, then remove should be false, otherwise unchanged. Right? Yeah. I'm not sure how to like simplify this. I think we could do and equals. Yeah, that's good. That works. So it'll be itself and ended with if the count is less than or equal to 0, then the rest of them don't get removed, right? Something like this, and then from there, so I have this current string. Now this is the result string. I is 0. I is less than n. So I'm like going through. So if remove of I, I'm going to say result plus equals current of I. Then return result. Something like this. Something like this. Oh, I see. This is actually not going to work. This is not correct. Huh. Yeah, it's not correct. Okay. A little more complicated than that. Actually, I need to go through this again. Back to front. So it's not remove of I, it's going to be current of I equals an opening parentheses. Yeah, this is a little bit confusing. The way that I'm doing this. I should look at the solutions to this. Okay. Oh boy. This is very confusing. That's confusing. Hmm. Oh man. Should be, I think, not this, by the way. Yeah, I think it's the other way around. If it's opening and count is greater than 0, right? Then this is going to be removed, that parentheses, and then decrement the count. Mark. Okay. Something more along these lines. And if not remove, then result current of I. Okay, something a little more like this. I realize it's kind of confusing what's going on there. Am I doing on time? Just give me a moment here. I'll read the chat in a second. I don't need this at all, actually. Okay. Okay. Wrong answer. All right, of course. Output ACO. Okay. All right. Let's not do any removal. Let's just comment this out for now. What do I get? I'll reach out momentarily. Output AC. What is going on with that? Oh, right. I know what's wrong. Yeah. So if we drop below, then we don't push back that character and increment the count. Yeah. Something like that should work. There we go. Okay. So it works in these situations. The removal here is, oh wait, what? Wait, what? Wait a second, huh? What? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I was gonna say, I was like, did I? I thought I commented this out and it was still working correctly. I was very confused. If I do this, I think it will not be correct. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say. I was like, wait, why is that working? Okay. So. All right. Let's try some things. Population of US less than SD job preparation India. India is so competitive. Some students sit in contest. They secure rank 1. No can beat one of them. Shrey and Zray and these type students. So many, it's more competitive. I'm not sure what you're getting at, but I could tell you this. About India. In theory, right? If they're very good, they should be able to start their own companies in India. Oops. Whoa. Right? They're very good at what they do. Should be able to start their own companies. But that's kind of my thing. It's not my thing. My point is that they might be good at some things, but they're kind of not as great at other things generally. And that's kind of the problem. It's like, I was saying that before, that like I don't really have very high expectations. No offense, but just for India, because they don't really. They should be able, in theory, to make their own companies. That's what I'm trying to say, and not make their own jobs and hire their own people. They shouldn't have to feel like they need to come to the United States. But that's kind of what I'm saying, is that the reason why they feel like they need to come to the United States is because the United States is different. The Americans, how they do things is different than how they do things in India. All right. Do I need to submit this? All right, I'm gonna go for it. Afraid to go for it. I'm gonna go for it. But yeah, I'm sure it's extremely competitive in India. Hey, okay. Whoa. I was gonna say, I was like, afraid to submit this. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, well there you go. What if M is 0? I think I know what to do. It's a good thing I tested that. It's a good thing I tested that. was gonna just submit it. I would have got it wrong. Let's try a few of these. A few different situations here. Okay, let's try that. See what comes out. Yeah, I'm trying to say things as diplomatic, say these things as diplomatically as possible, but it's kind of hard to say it. To just say it. I got there. Okay, yeah, that took me a long time. This question, probably longer than it should have. Yeah, the solution I came up with is like not the best. It's not great on memory. It's like reasonable runtime, but not as fast as it could be. It's just it's kind of awkward, and like I'm pretty sure they created this question in that way on purpose. Like pretty awkward on purpose. Like it's fine, you know. 1, 2, 3. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let me submit one more time. It's fine. It's just not the best. Not the best. I probably should look at some of the solutions to see like a cleaner way of doing this. Not the cleanest solution. Not that clean. Not my favorite. The reason why I was like kind of okay with using a little bit of extra memory is because the string, I'm returning a string anyway. I have to build the string anyway, so it's kind of like, well, it's not really that big of a deal to use the extra memory, I suppose. But I'm sure there's a better way to do this. It's actually what I should look for. Stack. Okay, let's look at these. Let's look at these. You actually don't need a stack. As shown here. Don't need a stack at all. Collects indices of mismatched parentheses and removes them left to right. Yeah. Remove. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, these are values to remove. I don't think about that. Oh, that's a good idea. Mark them for removal in this way. Oh, that's clever. Okay. Oh, and they push the indices into the stack. Yeah, you could push indices in the stack. That's a good way of doing it. And then you could write. That's better than doing it this way. I didn't think of that. I was thinking of something like that, but I didn't get all the way there. I was like, I'm not really sure. That's I like that. I like that a lot. Actually, that's really good. And then just remove them all in one shot. I don't know about this though. This is a little bit strange. Erase, remove. What does that do? Is that a thing? Oh, it is a thing. Oh, look at that. Oh. Oh. Okay. No kidding. Oh. I didn't realize that this was a thing. That's awesome. Oh, wow. I should be using that more frequently. That's been phenomenal. I definitely should have been using that more in my code. That's like a really good algorithm to keep in mind, because I kind of do it like manually, I guess, and that's not good the way that I do it. So I like that a lot better. Yeah, let's do it that way. Okay. We're gonna return S. We're gonna do a similar. I like that approach a lot. With tracking. Isn't that the same thing? Isn't that what this does? Wait, what? Well, no. You don't want to do it this way. Deleting characters is takes linear time. Want to do what? This? What do they want to do? I like the first one better. I think this is better. The second one is, I think, not as that clever, quite frankly. I think this one is better. Yeah, just write directly there instead of using this. Yeah, you would when you use a stack of indices. And so, okay, we would say if ch is an open parentheses, st push I, else if it's closing parentheses, st pop. And we'll say there's a result. We're going to say for each come back to that in a minute. While st empty, well, it's not empty, we're going to say pop, but also write into s of st top, make that something we're going to delete, right, which is a special character that's not present in the description. I like this, like sentinel characters, special characters. I like that's a good idea. Like that. You could also rewrite the string to use optionals instead of using a custom sentinel value here, like a special value. But in this case, it's something, it's easy to do this. Sometimes it's not that easy. So you could use optionals for the string, optional characters, I guess, array of optional characters. Anyway, so while the string's not empty, I'm going to write these characters in, and otherwise, I think, excuse me. Yeah, so here, if st is empty, if it's not empty, so in both of these cases, I'm going to say result.pushback. So if the stack is empty, so that gets confusing. What I would say is the stack is empty, pop it. If it's not empty, pop it. But also, if it is empty, then write s of I equals character to remove. Yeah, that's a little bit confusing. So when I pop, if I have nothing to pop, then I'm going to write that those parentheses need to be removed. Closing parentheses needs to be removed if the stack is empty. Otherwise, I just pop the stack and leave it in there. Yeah, that's a little confusing, but that should work fine. And then at the end, you can just do standard erase or st erase, or no, s.erase, standard remove. send. This is going to be begin, send, character to remove. And that's it. Something like this. This is like a lot easier to think about in a program. Where do you work at? How's it going? Sumit Satyar. Hope today's going well. Welcome, welcome. I am currently unemployed. Currently unemployed. Let me try to submit this, see how this goes. It's gonna be wrong. It's a good chance it's wrong. Oh, got it. Nope, not wrong. Hey, there we go. There we go. That's yeah, I was saying this is like a much cleaner solution, and it's pretty fast. Yeah, I appreciate you asking though. Right now, I'm basically unemployed, interviewing, and looking for. I used to work on trading systems. That's what I used to do. And I'm looking to probably get like I'm looking to put together my own software foundation now, which I'm technically already doing that. It's just I haven't implemented much yet, but I've already kind of like laid down I guess some of the designs. I'm already kind of working on some of the designs for some of the projects, and so I'll have my own company. But I don't expect to make a lot of money doing that, at least not immediately. So technically, I'm going to have my own company. Going to, I mean, there's a lot of legal stuff involved there too. I'm not totally there yet with certain things legally. And then, yes, there's that I've got going on. I've been interviewing, and yeah, I had worked for about 4 years working on like trading systems. I don't want to say exactly which company, but it's not like someone really wanted to know, they could find out, but I don't want to. I don't know. It's awkward for me to share sometimes. I also don't work there anymore, so I can't really say I work there currently. I don't work there anymore. I had left that job a while ago. Yeah, I forgot. There's like a bunch of things I got to add to that answer. But I appreciate you asking. Forgot what I was even going to say. But yeah, I think this is the best solution. Actually, this is my favorite one so far of all the ones that I kind of thought about, and the ones that we looked at. Or we only looked at one. Well, we looked at two other ones. This is good. I think this is the way to go. I think this is the way to go because it's kind of complicated otherwise. It looks like my other approach might be faster sometimes, but nah, not much faster. Yeah, I mean, stacks are kind of awkward. I don't know, man. There's a lot of if statements going on here. Like maybe it's not as good as the other code that I wrote, because it's still using a considerable amount of memory anyway. So it's not like I really saved that much. Actually, it's just this is a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier to understand what's going on. Oh, there we go. 100%. Okay, sweet. Yeah. No. This is good. This is good. 100%. Fastest solution on the site. Yeah. This is. Never mind. I take it back. This is good. This is good. Maybe a little bit tricky, but it's good. Okay. All right. I'm gonna move on from there. So yeah, great question. It's a good one. That's like really makes you think. It's a very good question, actually. That's challenging. It's very challenging. I like this a lot. This line of code is great. Wow. Just thinking. Anything else I want to say before I go here with this? Not really. I mean, this is pretty good. It's kind of hard to avoid the if statements, just because you're pushing and popping from a stack. Like it's kind of challenging to convert that to like branchless code. I like this a lot too, using a sentinel. As I said, you could use actually optionals if you wanted to, like a character array of optionals. I don't know if this would still work for that, maybe. Excuse me. The erase wouldn't be quite the same, but that's okay. You probably, if you used an array of optional characters, you'd have to, in order to use your own sentinel value, you'd have to like convert this to a string later, which is pretty awkward. I don't think that's good. I don't know if there are like optional strings, if that's a thing. I don't think that exists. But anyway, this is, I mean, it's usually not that hard to be able to grab something outside of the character set. Like, you don't, it's, I guess you could technically use something that's like, just like not in the ASCII standard, something that's like just like a number. Can you? I don't know if you can do that. I don't know. Maybe. Or even a null terminator would be fine. Something like that. I guess. But anyway. All right. Okay. Great. Very good. Let me continue here. That's a good question. That's a good one. That makes you think. That question makes you think. Can you solve a BFS problem? I can. I can solve a BFS problem. Yeah. I prefer level order traversals when I'm trying to solve BFS questions. In other words, you get the whole you can organize your BFS from, instead of doing a queue of elements one by one, right, and then adding the next elements into the queue, you can get all the elements for a particular section, process all of those, put those into another level or another queue really, and then swap the buffer, swap the queues, and then go through the next queue. And when you're going through that one, you put it into another larger, usually another queue, and you just kind of keep going level by level. It would be akin to like if you were going to BFS through a binary search tree, maybe is a good example, if you were to do a level order traversal of the binary tree. So you would do all of the first level into the queue, and then the elements that are the children, instead of just adding them to the end of the queue, you would create a new queue, put all those into the next queue, and then swap to the next queue, and then do the same thing over and over. So you go level by level instead of one like part of the way, instead of just adding things to the end of the queue repeatedly. Which I like that approach. It's pretty cool, pretty nifty thing. All right, I think I'm going to take a break for a bit. Kind of going a little bit slow today. I tend to prefer, if I can, to go fast, but I'm not going very fast. I'm like, 2 questions in 2 hours is like not as fast as I like to prefer to go generally. I like to try to solve things in like 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes if I can. But it's pretty challenging to keep that pace. Like, that's a really fast pace, quite frankly. You have to be like really familiar with the problems, I think, to do it that fast. And like be very quick about like writing clean, efficient code that solves the problem. Like, I don't know, you just gotta be like really on your feet to do it in 5 to 10 minutes. Really on top of it. I'm pretty rarely am I that fast. So anyway, all right. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe for more. I'm gonna go ahead and just take a break for a while. I don't know what I'm gonna do exactly. I may or may not come back later and work on some more questions. But yeah, thank you for watching.